slate.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
So the question is, what was it like spearheading the church renovation as well as working on the project as well?
So the building search committee was comprised of me, Pastor Andrew, and Deacon Dan Kim, and we were meeting regularly to pray and to go over the logistics of finding a new church. I also had a conviction that our church was pretty much just hiding ourselves away from the community that we were in. Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount that we're city in the hill. A lamp cannot be hidden, and it just felt like that in our old location in Chalfont. We were just hidden away. Nobody knew we were there. We had no presence. And so I wanted to see our church kind of be in the middle of a community we're serving and just have some more exposure to the people in the surrounding areas.
The vision for buying a building in Lansdale was really motivated by our desire to really reach a community with the gospel of Jesus Christ. We wanted to reach a community not only by declaring the gospel, but by demonstrating the gospel in word and deed. And so we were really motivated by 3 components. Service time, we found that 1 p.m. Was a bit late for service, so we wanted to move to an earlier service, and having our own building would facilitate that. The second was proximity to where we were already engaged in areas of mercy and justice, where we were engaging in community. And Lansdale was an appropriate place for that. And the third reason was exposure. Where we were previously was a bit tucked in, a bit further away from the places where there was a lot of foot traffic. And so moving into a place like Lansdale, particularly on Jenkins Ave, placed us in a place where we're in a neighborhood and we can see and meet and talk to the various people living around us.
We were actually just thinking of renting a space from a church to start, just because we didn't think we could buy right away. And so we were doing some basic Google searching and looking for churches on Google Maps that we can contact and things like that. And so that's how I came upon Open Bible Church, the church that was meeting in our current building, just through a Google Map search and going to their website and submitting a contact us form on their website. I couldn't even find an email address to contact, so I had to do it through the form. And after a few days, they contacted me back. And so we were discussing with them the terms for renting their church building from them. But it actually happened that after a few months, their interim pastor wanted to retire. And this was over the summer of 2018. And they actually voted amongst themselves to sell us the church building.
As you all know, with the size of the church that we had, and with the budget, and the condition that the building was in, it was a monumental task. As you all know, actually, I never had to individually thank all those people who came out, giving up their weekends to really come together and assist in the renovation. It really helped to follow the schedule. And the hard part, moving the debris and taking out all the trash, help us to load and unload, all those things. And some people came during their time off to help paint. To all those things, it all came together. Yes, it was physically demanding and working sometimes 12 hours a day. With 2 contractors, I was fortunate enough to meet both Christians, and they also gave a lot of sacrifice as well.
Moving into this building has really helped us and almost forced us to be more intentional with how we are engaging the community, how we are being the church, not just to the church and those within our own walls, but to those outside of the church, those who are in our neighborhood, our surrounding community. And it's also really forced us in a good way, again, to learn how the gospel is for more than just Korean Americans, especially as we have a desire to reach this neighborhood. We want to see that as our mission field to Line Street. And so we want to really do what the gospel tells us to, and that's to go out and be salt and light. And having a building here in Lansdale has really challenged us to do that.
To really come together as a family of Cornerstone. Not only that, as brothers and sisters, to really get this place of worship to where it's at right now. Of course, it needs more work, but our church is a testament that it is in His time that things will happen and not in ours. And I learned that the hard way. So this project, though it was difficult with a low budget, it came together, and I can honestly say I can only give God the glory and hope that through this church that we could continue to share the love of the gospel by utilizing this beautiful place that He gave us. So again, we thank you for the members of Cornerstone and the people who took participation from the beginning to the end. And truly, I give Him all the glory. Thanks.
I'm just amazed to see the things that God has done just throughout this whole process from beginning to end, as it was clear that God was leading us the whole way, just moving hearts and hands to for His purpose and to accomplish His work. And how I'm amazed to see how much the church has grown in just the short time we've been here, and now we're even considering multiple services. So it's just been really humbling just to be a small participant in the work God is doing here in Lansdale and in this community, and for His glory. And I'm really excited to see what the future holds. So our search committee got started, comprised of me, Pastor Andrew, and Dan Kim. I'm sure that pause could be edited out. I don't know.
Now, would I ever do this again? I'm not sure. I think.
Andrew Kim trying out for the part of pastor of Cornerstone.
Moving into the building. Yay, thank you. Any last words?
This was weird and hard. This is the weirdest thing I ever did. What does it look like? Am I